There's an art to creating the art in
Yes.
AI, even though it's through prompting, but there is an art to it to get the right style and to get the right style consistently as well to be able to create a whole deck.
Hi, Lauren Grace here. Welcome to the Afterlight Podcast. And I'm joined today by Sarah Jade. Sarah is a visionary entrepreneur with over a decade in the New Age industry, has left a lasting impression with her unwavering passion for spiritual exploration and artistic innovation. She passionately manages the Spiritual Events Directory, a beloved platform for both enthusiasts and practitioners. Under her guidance, this resource has thrived, fostering a supportive and inclusive community. Sarah expanded her services to an innovative venture into Oracle card publishing. Her pioneering spirit shines as she leads the industry by creating the first collaborative Oracle card deck that combines AI-generated art with real faces. This groundbreaking project uniquely bridges technology and spirituality. And Sarah's joining me today. We're going to answer some big questions. Is
Ooh.
AI actually spiritual? We're
Ah!
going to be talking about growing a successful spiritual business and creating oracle cards with the partnership of AI. Sarah, thank you so much for being here. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm a
You
bit
put,
worried now.
uh, well, let's just
No.
say I use AI every day, so we're
Yeah,
pretty
I
much on
know.
the same we're on the
Exactly.
same page here.
It's God's
Uh,
creation, so yes, it is spiritual.
It's God's creation. AI is God's creation. That is hilarious. Sarah, thank you so much for being on the show. There's so many things that we want to get to. Especially I want to talk to you as a spiritual woman in business because I know you're so successful. I see all the things that you're doing. I wonder how you have time to fit it all in. But before we kind of go there, I'd love to know a little bit about your spiritual journey. Have you always been connected to the woo-woo? You use the term God there. Not everyone's comfortable with that name, but it seems to me like that's a pretty familiar term that you might use.
Yeah, well, no, I'm not religious in any way, shape, or form. And I struggled with the word God for a lot of years, and I was
Yeah.
more comfortable with the word universe. But, the more I've been in it, as in this spiritual, like doing my spiritual business for the last 12 years, there's no rules like God, universe, it's all the one energy at the end of the day. So
Yes.
whatever you resonate with. So my journey began 12 years ago. Probably no, no, probably about 13 years ago. So it was due to a relationship breakdown. So I separated with my ex, who was the father of my two children. And at the time, my daughter was 6 weeks old and my son was 21 months old. So they were little tiny babies. And it was a very toxic relationship, destructive. It was DV, essentially. I didn't know that I was in a DV relationship when I was in it because I just thought it was normal. I know that sounds kind of
Mm.
sad, but a lot of my relationships prior to him were kind of similar. He was next level, as in next level abuse on all levels, but I'd always been in kind of um abusive as in verbally, like didn't treat each other like with love and kindness as we should.
Mm.
So yeah, so he was like the next level, and I realized, hang on a minute, this isn't normal. Things have got to change and become a mother, and I didn't want my children growing up like that. And I knew that it all began with me. I just intuitively knew that. I knew that I needed to change me first, and then everything else around me would change. So I put it out to the universe that I wanted to find happiness, and it led me on that path. And I ended up going to a spiritual church, and I thought that was amazing. And the lady that ran the spiritual church, like they'd have mediums talking and all different practitioners. But what I really loved was she would always do a session about talking to the angels and manifesting using the angels. And I'm like, oh, what is this? Manifesting. I never
Mm.
heard of it before. And yeah, so I just started doing that. I'm like, wow, because I just wanted to, I wanted to make changes. I really was just at that point that I wanted to make changes within my life. So yeah, I learned how to manifest and how to use the angels to do that and talk to the angels and tell them what I wanted. And then obviously, you've got to make the changes within yourself as well. So what I did is I used affirmations. So the I am. So I
Yeah.
would like be writing that every day. I am this. I am like just future visioning with the I ams and also gratitude. So I'd have my little journal and I'd write all the I ams and then everything that I'm grateful for. And I was just doing that every day, just constantly. I was, really wanting to change. And that's the most important thing. You've got to want to change first, right? And then
Yeah.
everything will open up.
It's
Yeah.
amazing. It's so inspiring. Did you have role models around you at the time? I know you said that you tapped into the energy and the support from the church, but I would imagine to go from, living the life that you were living, as well as recreating a lot of those similar habits, like you were saying, and having similar relationships. It may not
Yeah.
have been that easy as you kind of like summarize it like, oh, and then I started doing this and now here I am.
Yeah.
But I'm sure along the journey, I
Yeah.
mean, did you have people helping you?
Not really, no. So
Wow.
I had one friend, okay, so he was a male friend that I had known from way back. And, once upon a time we would do the hookup thing. Sorry, mum, if you're watching this. He was one of those friends, and then it was like a booty call, I call it. But then we were just remained friends and everything. And, and then I'd go into a relationship and stuff like that. But we just remained friends. And he could see that my relationships weren't great and all of that. And he actually said to me, um, you should listen to Tony Robbins, Unleash the Power Within, I think it's called from memory.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm like, yes. He goes, just get an iPod or something and just listen to it every chance you can get. And so because I was in that, that stage of my life of wanting to change so much, I was like, I'll do anything. So I'm like, oh, and so I started wishing for an iPod, and then I literally manifested that through the kids, right? So they got so many vouchers from like their dad's family and all of that sort of stuff. And because I was breastfeeding my 6 week old, like being a single mom, 6 week and 21 month old, I'm like,
Wow.
how do I keep the 21 month old kind of,
Occupied.
occupied? And he loved because he's got big cousins like my nieces, and he, they'd sing to him and they'd do this, and he'd love watching videos of them and things like that. So I thought I'll get an iPod and he can like watch videos, and they can do things and he can watch that. And yeah, so then when he wasn't doing that, which he didn't have it all the time, it was mainly just when I wanted him to sit still while I was breastfeeding. um I was listening to Tony Robbins and changing everything. And I'd go to bed listening to him. I remember I'd be on Facebook going, you know what I'm like on Facebook, Lauren. I'd be like, I'm going to bed with Tony now. Good night.
Sarah, you have this like drive within you. You have this motivation. It's as though you have like a hunger and it's insatiable, and you have this self-belief within yourself. So it's hard to imagine you in any other way.
Yeah. And I think that's why I'm like this, because I know it's like a whole 360 to who I was. Like I wasn't, knowing your background and everything and where you come from, journalism and all of that, like
Yeah.
I had no career. Like I just go to work and just work like in customer service or sales or something like that. There's no way on this earth I wanted to become a team leader or climb the ladder in any way. Like I just didn't have that in me. But it was because I didn't have the self-worth in me. I didn't think that I could do it. So that was the key. Like I was really, yeah, I just didn't have that. And that's why I attracted all those toxic relationships, right? Because I didn't have that.
Yes.
And so
Yes.
that was the main thing I had to change, is my self-worth, to know that I deserve a good life. I deserve all the good things. And so when I learned, about the angels and manifesting, that we can do, have anything that we want, like, okay, let's go. I can do
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And the
yeah.
IMs, like you said, are so powerful. I know that I use IMs as well to climb out of hating myself to loving myself, and incorporating even changes in my own body and everything through a lot of the IMs. So,
Mm,
do you still use them to this day?
yes. Not
Yeah, me too.
consistently. I find that, when things aren't going that great, you go back to this, and my
Yeah.
go-to is the I ams and the gratitudes
Yes.
to lift your vibration.
Yes.
Um, but yes, I do. Yeah. Yeah.
And for our listener at home, the I ams refer to I am worthy, I am wealthy, I am loved, I am kind. Because when we talk about it in the present, then it's like our subconscious and everything tries to catch up with where we are. Whereas when
Yeah.
we say I will be, well, we know tomorrow never comes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's talk a bit about spiritual events directory because I feel like we have to honor that. Number one, it's
Yeah.
still going on, it's successful before we really can get into Oracle card publishing. So cool to see the journey that you're taking and backing yourself. So, how did
Yeah.
spiritual events directory, emerge from your own emergence and your own transformation?
Yeah. So I obviously having the little kids, I didn't want to go back to work. And uh listening to Anthony, and also that friend said to me, and this really stuck too, like we can do anything and have anything and create anything that we want. But the key is what's behind that energy. Like, why do you want to do that? And so in other words, being of service in some way, right?
Yes.
And so I'm like, oh, so that really like just stuck deep into my subconscious, that one. So
Yeah.
when I was like, well, what do I want to do? I don't want to go back to work. I've got the two little ones. Um, I'm really loving this spiritual stuff, like it's amazing. So I'm like, I know what I want to do. I want to create a spiritual directory. So I want to create a spiritual directory and help millions of people spiritually. And so, yeah, I just started again talking to the angels, manifesting, writing it down, what I wanted. And I didn't know, like you asked if I had mentors. And I didn't know anybody that was spiritual either back then.
Yeah.
And I had one friend that I worked with, her sister was spiritual. She was the only person I knew, and she was into astrology. So I said to her, look, I've got this idea to start a directory. Would you want to do it with me? Because again, the self-love, the not feeling worthy, and oh, really, can I do this on my own sort of thing? And she's
Right.
like, yeah, that's amazing. That sounds amazing. Yep, let's do it. So, we're like, okay, so we started doing it. And she's like, we should do astrology reports as well. And I'm like, okay. So we brought like a program to do astrology reports. She was doing them all because she knows astrology and she could do that. And I was just like getting the sales in, I guess, the people that wanted to do, have a report done. And but what I found is I was relying on her, and I just really had that drive, and that just really, again, just wanted to change everything about my life, about me,
Amazing.
everything. Just so inspired to do that. And when I really got clarity, I'm like, no, I really want to create this spiritual directory. It's what I want to do. I want to help millions of people spiritually. It took about, I reckon, about a week or two. And my sister-in-law, I love this story because part of the family, my sister-in-law, because I told everybody that I want to create this directory. And oh, sorry, my sister-in-law is kind of spiritual as well. She's sort of, well, not kind of, but she is spiritual, but I didn't really know that side of her. But she did buy everybody like The Secret back in 2008.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and we're like, oh yeah, okay. Not not really knowing much about it. Not, and I had no interest of reading it back then. And yeah, so I'm like, okay, so she said, go and check out this page, which was Spiritual Events Directory. And on the page, it had, we're selling the business. It's not my life purpose. And so here I am going, well, it's my life purpose. So I sent them a message and sent them an email. I've still got the email to this day, Lauren. And I looked at it like not that long ago. I'm like, oh my God. I've got no idea how to run a business. I don't know what I'm doing, but it's what I'm manifesting. So I've got to trust. It's what I've been manifesting. So I've got to trust and
Oh,
just take the action and do it. So it had 80 people following the Facebook page back then. So when I say purchase the business, I purchased the Facebook page, which had 80 people. I purchased a website that had nobody advertising or anything on it.
but it was
And
built.
yeah, but it was built, and I've just built from that and learnt WordPress and all that. And now obviously that's all been rebuilt by somebody else and all the things. But yeah, just over those 12 years, just learning everything that I needed to. And now it's at, I don't know, 87,000 or something. It
Yeah.
has slowed down a little bit. It grew really quickly in about the first 4 or 5 years. It's kind of slowed down a little bit now with Facebook being a bit the way that it is. But, like an email database of about 10,000. Instagram's got, I think, 7,000. So it's nice little, it's a nice platform to, if you're a psychic or a healer or something, as you would know because you've been on it,
Yes.
and to promote yourself and things like that. So yeah,
Yes.
that's
It's
how that
also,
started.
it's amazing. It's also a testament to how hard you work because, when people see likes on pages, that's actually because someone's been nurturing that
Yeah.
audience and supporting that audience for years and years and years.
Oh yeah. Every day doing the
Yeah.
quotes, setting up my quotes to do the quotes every day. And because I had that program as well, what I used to do is I used to go, who would like I can't remember what, something to do with numerology. Like, give me a date of birth and I will tell you what your life path number is and that
Yeah.
meaning for that, or your destiny number. And like I used to do that every night and people would be commenting and that grew. And then I'd go to, I'd find all the other spiritual pages on Facebook and I'd go over to them and I'd interact, on their pages. I would send like post stuff onto their timeline. Yeah, so it was a lot of work, but I loved it. I was passionate about it. When the
Yeah.
kids were sleeping and at night, I did a lot of work at night. I don't know how I
You
got
still
up.
do, don't you? I
I
don't
do.
think it's too long ago that you're like, oh, I pulled an all-nighter. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I still do because I've gone on and had another child since that. So she's 5. And yeah, so I just find that I just get a lot of hours at night. I do my best work at night for some reason. I just love working
Mm.
at night. Yeah.
One of the questions I have for you is around the idea of community. And I know for myself, this is something that I really want to improve in is really building that community. What do you recommend that people do when they're starting out fresh or if they already have a community about supporting that? And do you think that community is still important nowadays? Considering we're all like based on the algorithms and everyone's doing communities and it can be a little bit challenging sometimes to get seen or nurture your audience. Yeah. Any tips or thoughts
Mm,
on that?
yeah. Consistency. And I know that's hard when you think nobody's seeing it. Like back when I was
Yeah.
doing it, people were seeing it, so it was good. Now they're not as much. Um, I ran Facebook ads as well. And again, back then it was quite, well, I think I was paying only $5 a day and I
Yeah.
was getting like at least 100 new likes a day as well. Yeah, so
Wow.
that was worth it. Yeah, just consistency and like for you being, doing your mediumship and things like that. Just like what you did on Spiritual Events Directory, I would just commit to every week showing up and doing those
Mm,
lives so that they know um,
yes. Same time,
that you,
same place.
yep, same time, same place. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. I see a
And
continue.
no, no, you go.
I was
I
just
was
going to
just,
say, yeah, I see that a lot of people who are having success, it is that consistency. And I was listening to Donald Miller's book, and he's like a copywriter, and that's what he was saying is one of the markers of success is consistency. So I think
it
you
is.
hit the nail on the head with that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And yeah, consistency. And I wanted to say hard work, but it's not necessarily hard work, but it's hard work to be consistent.
Strategic work as well.
Yeah,
Because you could
exactly.
hardly work. You could also put in a lot of work that's like not actually yielding a return on your investment.
Exactly. That's right. But I think that
Yeah.
it all does even out in the end. If you're consistently putting in work, and that might not be like it's even work because you've got to learn all the things. You've got to learn
Yeah.
how to do the email marketing, how to do, you know, social media, how to learn different programs with me with the AI now. I'm into that, like learning all the different AI programs and that sort
Yes.
of thing. And I think that could be the difference between somebody that's more successful than somebody else, because they're willing to really learn and they like that side of it. I think you really do need to know all the email marketing, all the softwares, in order to really create and scale a quite a successful business. It's not just about the energetics and the things like that that some of, the more spiritual people talk about, and the manifesting and
Yeah.
the visualizing and all. It's all part of it, but you've got to learn to. And with that said, you don't have to go and get a mentor or a coach and pay a lot of money either. Because I didn't do that. I've never done that. Yeah.
But you're also very driven. I think it's about self-awareness too, isn't it? Because some people want accountability and they need that support. And some
Yeah.
people can do it on their own. I also have done it on my own too, where I've
Yeah.
learned a lot of the stuff that
Yeah.
I've had to do. But I also recognize that I could scale in a different way
Yeah.
with
I don't think
assistance.
I was ever ready, because I like to do things at my own pace.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And I
and I
like what
don't
you're,
necessarily want to do some things that a coach, I know that a coach would have told me, like to do videos and lives and things like that. I know that and I didn't want to do that. I wasn't ready back then to do that. So I just did things my own way. And I
yeah,
just used spirit as my coach or my mentor. I just asked what I need to know. So if I seen something that was pretty cool, like, how do they do that? That's awesome. How do they do that? And then next minute, like, that information would come to me through someone. I'm like, thank
amazing.
you. So
Thank you
always
more,
asking.
please.
Yes. Yeah. It's so
Y-
simple. We make it hard, but it's
Yeah,
honestly
but it's clarity. That's why, because when you're saying to the universe or the angels, I want an iPad, I want an iPod, or I want to learn this skill, or I want to do that, you're very clear on that. You're not wishy-washy going, I kind of maybe want that or that or that or that. And
and
they're
I'm
like, well, we're going to
ready.
give you nothing. And you're ready to receive it. And you also, you have presence of mind to notice when it happens, because sometimes you've got like buses driving by you with the answer you're looking for, but because when you're in la la land, you don't notice it. You keep asking for that
Exactly.
sign and you miss it. I mean, even today, I was saying to my team, I'm like, okay, I really want to sign and I really want like the word faith. I'm really vibing on that at the moment. I was like, I want the word faith and blah, blah, blah. I want this to, come. So I come and I sit down and I look to my side, and on my desk, I've got a couple of different decks stacked there, right? And I go to pick up a normal deck and I pick it up. And then there's this other deck, which is Resurrection Oracle by Jenna de Cortaglia. I love this deck. It's so beautiful. This is talking to me and I'm like, oh, okay, like you follow that, right?
Yeah.
Shuffle, shuffle, put the card down. I didn't even shuffle in the normal way. And then I flipped the first card up and it was blind faith. And I didn't even notice for a minute. And I went, blind faith, okay. And looking at it, and I went, oh, faith. Like, so sometimes we also have to be present to notice these signs and then follow the breadcrumbs.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Otherwise, you'll be like, another sign, a signier sign, a shinier
Yeah.
sign.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sometimes I do make my team work for it very hard. I'm like,
I know.
oh, you've given me four, but I probably need a fifth to like be really sure.
Yeah, exactly. I know. Yeah.
You said something really important before, and I want to go back to it for a moment because a lot of spiritual entrepreneurs listen to this show. And I think that what you were talking about earlier is there's always a lot of emphasis on getting the feelings right in business and not always putting in a lot of action, especially if it's not aligned action. And you were talking about the opposite of that, which is so funny. It goes to show who you spend a lot of your time with as well, or working with, because you would be working with people, and obviously correct me if I'm wrong, who are really maybe aligned vibrationally, but then they're not doing the work. And it's really a lot about that balance, like you said. So how do you
Mm.
find that balance? Do you kind of learn the skills like you've done yourself? Do you recommend that people hire out, like, or hire someone to come in and do the things that they need to do? Because a lot of people do want to sit down and just want things to magically happen, but that's not going to set up the CRM funnel. That's not going to set up my ads. That's not going to, build the course out. That, right? That's just
Yeah,
not going to
exactly.
happen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I reckon it's really like a personal choice. Like, if you're going to spend $25,000 on a mentor, for a year, maybe don't do that. Maybe spend $25,000 on somebody to build your funnels and build your things. But I don't know, like, I don't know. They might, it really depends. Like, I'm a learner. I like to learn everything. I like to know how to do things
Yes.
first, and then I can get somebody else to do it, like, my VAs and things like that. But
Yes.
which is funny because I really did not like learning at school, but I found something I'm passionate about, right? So,
Yes. It's
so I
not
love
work
learning.
when you love it.
Yeah, exactly. But I
Yeah.
know there's a lot of spiritual people that don't like that techie side. They just want to do their readings, they just want to do their healings, and
Yeah.
they want somebody else to do all the other side of it. So,
Yeah.
mm,
And I guess like you're talking about, it does come down to the individual because not everyone wants to scale. Some people are happy to trade time for money. Some people want
yes.
to create passive income, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so it's just all about like you understanding where you are on that journey. But I think a big part about what I'm seeing in the marketplace and as we move forward, as business women, moving forward in like the crowded landscape and everything, so we really have to learn to adapt technology. And I agree with you in terms of, I personally like to understand everything. I don't have to be an expert in it all because it's just not going to be realistic, but then I can
Yes.
understand how long jobs should take or how
Yeah.
long, like the way that I want it to be executed, for example. So
Yes.
let's get into the discussion about AI because you've really taken the bull by the horns. You are driving this thing. It is so fabulous to watch to watch your progression. Like I almost feel that from the moment Chat GPT got, introduced to the world, you were already there, like waiting. It's as though you had a front row ticket.
I did. I am. Yeah, I
Yeah.
was. I was just like, oh my God, because I'm not the best writer. I suck at copy. And all those things. And I think that really held me back in business. I know you go, like how much my business has grown and everything like that, but I reckon I could have 10x'd it way back when if I had AI because I wasn't good
Yeah.
at those things. And I'd sit and
Yes.
I'd procrastinate on it forever, writing that email, doing the copy on that. And like now, I just like a brain dump what is in my head into
Yeah.
Chatty and go make that a media kit, make that a sales page, make that an email. Do you know what I mean? And I think
Yes.
that's the difference when people that are kind of against AI, they don't know, they think that you just go to AI and go, please write me an article on X, Y, and Z, enter. And it's
Yeah.
not, I mean, some people could use it that way, but you're not going to get the best out of it. It's
Yeah.
like it's like my wing woman. It's like I use it for everything. I just, because I've got so many ideas. How could I how could I implement that idea? Like even and Chatty would just tell, like it would spit out a whole marketing plan, a business plan
Yes.
of
Yeah. And
your
it
idea.
refines what you're giving it as well. I mean, if you
Mm,
give it shit, you're going to get that back. But if you give
yeah,
it something that's, good, help me work out a sales plan for this is the demographic, this is what I'm selling,
yeah,
this is the transformation that I'm providing them, this is the investment, da, da, da. It
yeah,
really
go
can
deep with it.
support you. Yeah. And it's a lot about productivity and efficiency, isn't it?
Yeah. And you can
It's just,
ask, and even if you don't even know, like I don't really know how to ask it to do things for me, say to Chatty, you are a marketing expert, Chatty. Please ask me the questions that you need me to answer in order for you to do X, Y, and Z for me.
yes.
And you'll be
Yes.
like, you can use it as a ghostwriter. I wrote a chapter in a book with
Yes. But you still
ChatGPT.
gave it all the goods and then it edited for
It was
you. And
it was
yeah.
my book, like it was my story. Like people like AI can't write your story. AI can
Yeah.
help you write your story because you need to, yeah, it's just like a ghost. So many, but like famous people don't write their own books. Like
Yeah. There's
they
tons of
don't.
ghostwriters,
There's so
100%.
many ghostwriters out there. So you can get Chatty to be your ghostwriter and it will
Yeah.
ask you the questions to get everything out of you the same way that a ghostwriter will. Sorry if
Yeah.
there's a ghostwriter watching thinking.
No, and that's
No, I'm
actually
not gonna
fair.
have a
And
job. Shut up, Sarah.
yeah, let's see. Yeah, no, you have to learn to adapt.
Yeah, exactly.
Sell the program where you teach people that. I mean, that's one of the things as well, is I always, when I ask chat to give me questions, I'll say, ask me them one at a time as well, which like
Yes.
really helps with the workflow. So it's just these small little things. So how did you start to create oracle cards using AI? I'd love to know a bit about, where did your mindset go for that? Did you just start playing with, because you're not creating your imagery on chat. Are you using Discord?
Yes, I use Midjourney.
Yes.
I do some
Mid-journey,
in
yeah.
chat. Chat's not so bad. Like a lot of the posts that you see on Facebook's chat, because it's just
Okay.
so easy. Just your phone, you put the app on your phone. Then again, you brain dump your idea and just say, please. I always say, please edit grammar and even sometimes structurally edit.
Oh, that's a good one.
Add
I run
emoji.
everything into Grammarly after.
Yep. And then emojis. Um, for a Facebook post. And it will do it, have the emojis, it'll have everything. And also I'll also say sometimes format that in the AIDA. That's a marketing thing. Don't ask me to tell you what that is now because my brain's just gone dead. But action, interest, desire.
Out and Oh, not outcomes.
Yeah, something
Action
like that. But it's a marketing term.
or actionable.
AIDA, I think that it is.
Okay.
And there's quite a few. Well, anyway, let's ask Chatty what are the marketing things, and it will tell you, and then just
Yeah.
ask it to do that.
Yeah.
Um, and it structures it really, really well. Like you would probably pay a copywriter a lot of money once upon a time to do that for you.
Yeah.
So how it come about with the Oracle cards? So it started that I just started doing artwork. So okay, so I just had this inner knowing that I needed to learn AI. And I said, I'm going to learn AI. I'm going to create $1 million or a multi-million dollar business purely using AI. Like, why not? Okay. And
Love
then
the
it just
clarity.
all
Love it.
opened up from there. So I just thought, you've got to learn this. You've got to be at the forefront. You've got to just, I don't know why, but I just felt
Yeah.
like that really
Yeah.
deeply. And and it just opened up. So I just started like learning AI, and then I found the art and I'm like, oh, this is really cool. And then actually no, but I did do all that, but I know now why. So it's coming back. I actually watched a webinar with a spiritual lady who's very techie and stuff like that. And she was running through all the different AI programs and what you can do and everything. And she said you could create oracle cards using AI. I'm like,
And then ding.
yep, light bulb moment. And so I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to do that. How do I do that again? How do I do that? And then I just
Yes.
took the action and started doing it. So I started creating the artwork for oracle cards, and then I would sell the artwork, just the artwork, no words, no actual oracle card, but just the artwork, like for 44 cards, a package, and people were buying it. I'm like, okay, you
Yeah.
know,
The digital version of it too, right? It wasn't a hard copy yet.
no, it wasn't a
It
hard
was
copy. No,
just digital
just the
images.
digital, just the artwork, as if you went to an artist to get some artwork for your oracle cards. Same concept, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they were there, and people, so I do like goddesses, angels, just all the cool stuff that people love.
Yeah.
And they were buying it, and I'm like, oh, there's a thing in this. And every time, because I do go off track, like don't ever think that you know, I go off track of I'm a Gemini, and I'm like all the things, oh, the shiny object over there,
Yeah.
but I found that I always came back to the art, always, and I loved it. Like it was like, I guess it's probably like being an actual artist that you're painting, like the same concept.
Yeah.
I just loved it, and because yeah, there's an art to creating the art in
Yes.
AI, even though it's through prompting, but there is an art to it to get the right style and to get the right style consistently as well, to be able to create a whole deck. So yeah, so it started from that, and then so then I was like giving them a template. Oh, and you can use this template to put in the template. You like, so I'd give them like a Canva file of all these different templates as well as part of it. I'd tell them where to go and get it printed and or do all the things. And then I'm like, I should make her like an Oracle card course because I'm doing it, like giving them all this information. So I did.
Yes.
So I created the Oracle card creators course using AI, and that's got like over 1,000 images too that you can use as well as your own if you want. I've got a little section on Midjourney to show you how to set up Midjourney and things like that, so you can create your own artwork. And then from there, so then I started doing the words as well, like putting the words on. And then from there, the merging of the faces. Um,
Yeah.
I saw I saw a I love how I just ask for stuff and it comes. I saw a post on Facebook, this guy, and he was looking for volunteers, right? He'd created like a program, a SaaS website
Yeah.
thing, which
Software
merges
as a
yeah,
service, FYI,
yes,
for
yeah,
listeners at home.
yeah.
Mhm.
So it merges your face with artwork. And all his artwork was very mystical. And so he wanted some volunteers to go in and have a look at it. And if you can see the picture behind me, that's one of
Yes, it's gorgeous.
that's one of his artwork. But I love it. And so I'm like, oh my God, these could be oracle cards. Like, look at that image of me, like I've merged my face. I'm like, that's perfect for an oracle card.
Yeah.
And so I thought, so that no so yeah, so he's got this program. I met with him and he's like, oh, we could white label it, like I could white label it to you, but it was very limited on what he had in there, right? And I'm like, oh, I'm not too sure because I really, there was no males really in there, it was just all females. And I'm just like, and I just said to myself, I wish I knew how he puts the faces on the AI art, like just how does he do that, universe? I want to know. The next day, my girlfriend messaged me and said, oh, I found out how you put the faces on AI art. And I'm like, what? And she goes, yeah, do you want me to show you? And I'm like,
Oh.
okay. Next day it come to me. And I'm like, oh my God. So again, she did a quick thing and showed me how to do it. And then
Amazing.
yeah, so then I just put it out onto Facebook and I'm like, who wants me to turn them into an Oracle card? And everyone's like, me, 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 me. And so I was doing, and I was just thinking, oh, this would be really good marketing. Again, going back to the numerology, when I used to do the numerology report,
Right.
was the same concept. I'm like, I could just put this out there, get them to comment, create, turn them
Oh,
into
it's
an Oracle
brilliant.
card. And it's just content, right?
Yeah.
For social media. But no, the universe had different ideas. And then I'm like, why don't I just put them all into an Oracle deck? Because all these people are saying, yes, me, me, me. I'll actually create an Oracle deck because, so I did that and I said to them, look, as part of being in this, I just asked that you like purchase a deck for $50. So that would cover the printing and all of that sort of stuff and the
Yeah.
posting out. And yeah, not everyone did it, but most of them did it. But that's how it started. And so then they're like, can I be in your next one? And then I had somebody that said, I'm going to help you fill this. It was an angel one. So I didn't even do anything. She was just posting on social media, getting all her friends join my Oracle deck. And I doubled the price. I put it to $100 because I'm like, I've got to,
Yes.
you
As you
know,
should.
yeah,
Respect.
make a bit of money out of
Yeah.
me doing the work because it was a lot of work, but it was a lot of energy that I had to deal with as well, like 44 people, and then them saying, oh, because in the
I don't like
contract,
my face in that. Can you redo it? I don't like that
yes,
color.
and
I
I'm
don't
like,
like, yeah.
and so I had there like it's AI art. I'm not making any changes. You get what you get basically, and you're happy. But of
Yeah.
course, me being me, okay, I'll make the changes. So yeah, so I got a bit much. And so I did like 4 decks like that. But the thing was, no one, so if you were in it, Lauren, I don't think you ever come into one of those decks, but say you were
No,
in
I haven't.
that, no one would know who you were, right? So you being a savvy businesswoman like me, it would be way cooler if it was like a marketing thing, so you could
Yeah.
get business out of it. So now the next thing that I'm doing is so instead of having 44 people in a deck, I have 11. So 11 psychics or intuitives, and they, pay me to be part of it. They get 4 cards each.
For a
And
total of 44, right?
yeah. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing now. And I filled the first one up in like 3 days.
So do people
11.
use them as divination tools? Like, is that what they're used for? Or is it used as like, oh, I look great in this photo and I'm going to just hold it as a keepsake?
Well, yeah, no, divination because people are buying the deck.
Yeah.
Okay. So then I went another layer and I'm
The
like,
book?
no, the card
Oh,
behind me that's hanging on my wall. Let's
oh,
upscale it
yes.
and make it a beautiful image that you can have hanging in your healing space and things like that. So I've called it Oracle Me. It's in the process of getting trademarked at the moment. Somebody has opposed it. Oracle International have opposed it, but
Oh,
hopefully
no.
they're American brand. Hopefully they can't do anything because Oracle is just a generic word, right? And it's
Yeah.
Oracle Me. So my
Yeah.
lawyer's doing all his stuff there. But yeah, so trademarking Oracle Me, you get a certificate with it so that you know that it's it's authentic, it's an original Oracle Me because it's the marketing and I want it to be.
So
So
good. You're
what
so
comes
good.
to my head was the Cabbage Patch Kids. Remember the Cabbage Patch Kids, and they used to get the
Yes.
certificate and they used to have the thing on their bum,
Yes.
and everything else was like a
A
imitation.
knockoff. Yeah. Yeah.
That's the concept. I'm like, I've got to do something like that because once other people know, it's like if you want to be the number one in it, it's like, yeah, so that's what I do. So we do the cards,
It's
and
amazing.
I've just booked a stand for MBF in Brisbane, Mind Body Spirit. And so we're actually going to be doing those like printing live
While people are there.
why people are there. So Greg
Oh
and
my God.
I are going to be doing it. That's great. So Greg's my little girl's dad, which we're amazing co-parents and things like that. Relationship wise, didn't necessarily work, but we get along really well. And like he's just a massive supporter for me. And you never know what the future holds. Everyone thinks that we're going to get back together, but you never know. But he's going to have he's,
Watch
he's
this
like,
space.
the work that I had to do to become the businesswoman, maybe I haven't done that work in creating good personal relationships
No
with the
one's judging
partners.
you here. You do
No one
you.
judges me. So, like once I start doing that work, who knows? But yeah,
I
so
love it.
yeah, so we're doing that. So that's really exciting.
I have to ask you some other questions a little bit
Mhm.
about AI because I would imagine that you were met with some, like, did people kind of feel challenged and threatened by what you were doing, incorporating AI and spirituality? How is it received? And how is
Yeah,
it being received?
it's actually been received so well, honestly.
Wow, that's great.
I had to do a bit of inner work to actually do it because I'm thinking, oh, I don't know that they're going to be that happy with AI and yeah, with the spiritual things. But no, I've had, there's been some people that have said things, but not a lot. Most people are like, really, that's such a cool idea.
Yeah.
And I'm
You
so honest
actually
and
get it done too, because so many people are like, I've been working on my deck for years, or I'm having to pay hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars per art piece, which is fair to the artist and all that. I'm not saying that, but I'm talking about it in terms of when you're making these investments, it's a lot to invest, but you're
yeah,
making it tangible for people to have something, you
yeah.
know?
Yeah, and we can, yeah, people are just like blown away. Like some people come to me and they're like, I really want this deck for a conference that I'm doing in 2 weeks' time, in 3 weeks' time. I'm like, okay. And that's getting it printed
Double
too.
extra. Double
Yeah, I know.
extra.
I'll
Drop
probably go now,
everything.
but then I was like, that's fun. And got it done then, print and everything because I print in Australia. Um, Yeah, so we can get the demo deck and make sure that everything's okay. And then,
Oh, wonderful.
yeah, so what I do as a publisher, just to share a bit, I really,
Yeah.
it's sort of supporting you as being a self-publisher, even though I call, Oracle Queen Publishing. But what I do is I create all the artwork, you'll supply the wording and things like that, unless you want me to do all that sort of stuff. And I upload it to get it printed. You get the demo deck, you have a look and make sure that everything's fine. And I hand over the account to you. And then you can go in and order more decks and order whenever you want. So then you're not relying on me and having to come back to me. And I'm having to put more on it because I'm doing all the work. And what usually happens in a publishing thing, that they put their layers on top of everything. So
Yeah.
that's why I'm sort of turning it on its head in so many ways, that it's just so much cheaper and more tangible for people now to get their Oracle cards done. As you were saying, that
Yeah.
it was taking years now. Yeah.
I love that. Is you're making me think of people who have other people build their websites, but then they don't have the domain or they don't have the login and they don't have the power and they lose their website in some cases. In other cases, they're just waiting for changes. They can't update anything and people have them under lock and key. So it sounds to me like you're actually enabling people, giving them the skill set, taking
Yeah.
your part of the commission and the investment, and then they're going forward and able to use these skills now.
Exactly. And I find that they come back and do other decks with me, like,
Yeah,
they're doing more than one because it's cheap enough. And I also do white label decks as well. I don't know if you've
right.
seen that, but I will put,
Yes, I have. We should
yeah,
explain white labeling for the listener at home because they may not be
yeah,
familiar with what that means. Yeah.
yeah. So I create a whole deck for you, like, well, not for you, but I create a whole deck and then
Like
I
a
put it out,
generic deck, like let's say
generic
an
deck. Yep.
angel deck or something.
An angel deck. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So all the
Yeah.
artwork, all the wording, and yeah, I just put it out there for people to purchase the exclusive rights to it, like one person. So, um, yeah, so it's a way to just, if you see a deck and you're like, oh wow, I really love that, and it's sort of, again, cost effective.
And then you
So
can put your brand on it, but Sarah's done the work. But then all of a sudden it could be Lauren Grace Inspirations Angel Deck.
that's
And
right.
I
And
bought
it's
it
got
from
nothing
Sarah,
to do with me.
but you wouldn't know.
You don't
You'd
even have to
never
put that
know.
on the artist or anything.
Exactly. A
It's now
lot of
yours.
people white label things. So you could white label tons of stuff. You could even get
Yes,
like an orange t-shirt. That's a dumb example, but everyone can buy an orange t-shirt and put their logo on it. You're never going to know it's the same t-shirt.
exactly.
So it's
Well, it's
kind of
like
like that.
Woolworths with food, same thing. It's the
Yeah.
same factory that's creating all the different brands, but all the different brands are just putting that same food into their packaging.
Yeah. And then it's the marketing and the brand association that goes along with that. That's why you can buy
Yeah.
similar products on Amazon and they're all the same, but they have their own name and their own brand. They're all
Hmm.
white labeled. Yeah.
Exactly.
So that's
But
very cool.
yeah, with mine, you're not gonna, like, so I won't sell that artwork to anybody else. That's now yours for
Only a
that.
one off?
Yeah, just a one-off. That's it.
Okay.
I was doing the PLR, like the private label rights, where like hundreds of people could purchase the same deck, but it's not, doesn't work as well as,
Okay.
yeah, you
Yeah,
don't
fair
really
enough.
want to put your name on something and then somebody else has got their name on the same thing. And
No, exactly. You want to have that, you want to feel confident that what you're selling, they can't get elsewhere. I mean, that's the part of
exactly.
that we love about Oracle cards, isn't it? It's the uniqueness of them. It's the vibe that they all have. It's the
Yeah.
fact that, they're unique to that particular author or that creator. So that's what's really exciting. If someone
Mm,
at home is interested in getting involved with you and the work that you do, I have an affiliate link, FYI, just full disclosure
yeah.
in the show notes here to Sarah's Oracle deck course. But
Yeah.
what would be the best way of them connecting? I mean, following you on Facebook is probably a no-brainer because you're always updating so many fun things and cool things on there, including your new designs. But yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, so Sarah Jade would be the best because then you've got, everything from spiritual events, everything from Oracle Queen, all my art I do through there. Um and just email publishing@oraclequeenpublishing.com or media@spiritualevents directory.com, or just contact Lauren and
Yeah.
ask
That's
her
right.
to
And I will
connect.
connect you. That's right. And
And we
I'm
can do
sorry, I
like a
think I said
connection message too,
yes.
that way. And then I know that that's come through you as well. So I'll always support. You've got an actual affiliate link for the course, but yeah, if somebody comes through you too, we do that way. And the same as
We
anybody.
like doing affiliate partnerships. I think affiliate
Yep,
partnerships are really where it's at, because when you love programs, when you love products and, you know, you get a cut or a commission from it. I mean, I think it's just smart business. It's
it
passive, it's
is.
different revenue streams. I
Mm-hmm.
love it. I mean,
It is.
everyone's doing that.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the next level businesses are really doing it.
Yeah.
That's what they do. And it's
Yeah.
no yeah, exactly. It's a bit like multi-level marketing in a way, isn't it? Like,
A little bit, but it's not really layered.
no, not
It's just like
really. It's
one
not.
layer. No, it's not
It's
at all
not
like
really
that.
at all. You can
There's
tell
no
we're not in
layer
that
aside
business.
from the, yeah.
We've got no idea.
I'm like thinking of a
Scrub that,
triangle.
cut that
No.
bit out.
Yeah, edit that bit out. So, if you were to give somebody at home maybe a couple of tips for getting started with AI, especially if there's a little bit of hesitancy there. I was talking to someone the other day about, oh yeah, and then you just run it through chat and they were like, no, that would just not even occur to them to even be using AI. But any thoughts on getting started? Do you think it's important to get started?
I do. If you have a business, and you said most people that are watching this have a business,
Yeah,
you need to get started. Otherwise, and everyone's saying it, you will get left behind. And that's not me
yeah.
saying it because I teach AI or because I don't actually teach how to market using AI or anything like that. But you will get left behind because you can just
It's the
do
way it's going.
things. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And it's not stealing anything. Like, people think that it's copying people's stuff from the web, on the web or whatever. It's not. And you would know too if you put it through Grammarly and you do the plagiarism, make sure that it's not.
Oh, I don't, but I have the paid thing, so I think it might automatically
Yeah.
do that. I've never run it through a plagiarism tool because
And
I
well,
write a lot of my own anyway.
I do. Yeah. And you just get it to edit it or change,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Um, Yeah, but it's nothing comes back as being plagiarized. So, and I'm the same. I just dump all my thoughts into it. So how
Yeah,
can it be copied? You know?
yeah,
But it's just,
yeah.
yeah, just a way to get all that content. So one piece of content, which is your brain dump into there and make it, that so it's structurally sound, and then turn that into all those different pieces of marketing content in seconds.
Yes. Yeah,
It's like it's
that's
a
in
no-brainer
seconds. Yeah,
in
what used to
seconds.
take us hours takes us seconds now.
Yeah.
And when we're looking at building businesses, especially when we're solopreneurs or we have VAs, but we're still running small teams and even when you're not running small teams, you look at the ROI on what you're paying people to do. It's really about being able to take your business that much further and faster. And that's
Mm-hmm.
where everyone's going to be going is speeding things up. You don't want to be left behind. So, Sarah, thank you so much for being here. Is there anything I didn't ask you that you wanted to mention just before we wrap up?
No, I think that you asked everything. I was going to say about the expo, but I said that MBS
Yes.
February.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. I can't wait to see your stall and how that all works out for you. Be great.
Yeah, it's exciting. Yeah.
Well, thank you
No,
for being
thanks for
here.
having me.
I love seeing all the work that you're doing and continue, creating. It's wonderful to see.
Yeah. Actually, one last thing that I want to say, actually, I do want to say
Yeah.
something. I can help create decks that aren't necessarily Oracle or Tarot decks as well. So if you've got a business, like business decks and things like that, so just think about think of a deck as a bite-sized book. So we can turn
Yes.
anything into a deck. So don't, yeah,
Bite-sized books. Love that. That
yeah.
is brilliant. Oh God. Sarah's already like, you can't see her at home, but she's like already typing in bite-sized books. Is this a trademark? Can I?
Exactly. Oh, no, I wasn't, but now I will. Thanks.
Thank you.